Why do stories stop working? Sometimes the premise is strong. The characters are interesting. The scenes are well written. And yet something still feels off. The ending does not land, the middle wanders. The theme feels forced, or the main character's journey feels unclear. Most writers try to fix these problems one piece at a time. A better scene here, a sharper line there, a bigger twist near the end. But often, the real problem is not in one scene, it is in the relationship between the parts. That is where Dramatica comes in. Dramatica is a model of story that helps writers see a complete narrative as a working structure of conflict, meaning, and choice. Instead of looking at story as just plot, or just character, or just theme, Dramatica looks at how all of those pieces work together. It asks, what problem is the story exploring? What pressures are driving it forward? What choices give it meaning? And what kind of resolution will make the whole experience feel complete? One of Dramatica's central ideas is that a complete story presents conflict from multiple points of view. Not just what happens, but what the conflict looks like from the outside, from the inside, from an opposing viewpoint, and through a relationship under pressure. The first perspective is the objective story, the big external conflict everyone is dealing with. This might be a war, a mystery, a family crisis, a competition, a social problem, or a shared goal. The second is the main character perspective, what the story feels like from the inside. This is where the audience experiences personal pressure, doubt, resistance, desire, fear, and growth. The third is the influence character perspective, someone or something that challenges the main character's way of seeing things. And the fourth is the relationship story, the changing connection between the main character and that challenging influence. These four perspectives are important because a story can feel incomplete when one of them is missing, weak, or confused. The plot may move, but the personal meaning may not. The character may struggle, but the relationship may not evolve. The theme may be present, but not proven. Dramatica also makes an important distinction about character change. Some stories are about a main character who must change because their approach is no longer working. Other stories are about a main character who must remain steadfast because the world around them is wrong, confused, corrupt, or afraid. That means a powerful character arc does not always mean transformation. Sometimes the strongest journey is about realizing you were wrong. Other times, it is about holding on to the truth when everything pressures you to abandon it. Dramatica also treats theme differently. Theme is not just a message pasted on top of the story. It is what the story is testing. Justice versus mercy. Freedom versus security. Loyalty versus truth. Ambition versus responsibility. The story puts these values under pressure and shows what happens when they collide. This is why Dramatica sometimes describes a complete story as a kind of dramatic argument. Not an argument in the sense of people yelling at each other, but an argument in the sense that every part contributes to a larger meaning. Plot, character, theme, and ending all work together to make a story's case. The structural pattern that holds all of this together is called a story form. A story form is like the dramatic DNA of a story. It does not write the story for you. It does not replace your imagination. It helps clarify what kind of story you are telling, where its conflict comes from, what each major perspective contributes, and what kind of resolution will feel earned. For writers, this changes the revision process. Instead of saying, something is wrong, but I don't know what, Dramatica gives you a way to ask better questions. Is the main character's personal conflict clear? Is the influence character really challenging them? Is the relationship changing? Does the ending resolve the same conflict the story began exploring? Dramatica is not a formula for making every story the same. It is a way to understand why each story is different and what makes it whole. Your story is still yours. Dramatica simply gives you a deeper way to see it. Dramatica, see the story.
behind the story.